Father was this incredible individual, one of the most famous doctors in India. What do you think he provided you for both of your future journeys?
Well, I have a chapter in the book, it's called Blind for a Day. And it's a true story. Deepak and I were studying in St. Columbus High School. We were being taught by Irish Christian brothers. I learned Hindi with an Irish accent. And after a cricket match, one Sunday around 5 or 6 o'clock, I was reading Reader's Digest and I fall asleep. Take a short nap, and I wake up 45 minutes later and I'm blind. I cannot see. And I nudged Deepak and he's next to me. I said, Deepak, I can't see. So I'm told he waved his hands in front of me, threatened me as though he was going to poke my eye, and I didn't blink. So then he knew for sure that I was blind. And he started crying. He said, I have one brother, and he's gone blind. and we were staying with our... Suddenly, without warning, without forewarning him. And we were staying with our father's younger brother, Ratan Chacha, and his wife, Karna Auntie. And he took us to the military hospital, where I was examined by doctors, including ophthalmologists, and they had no inkling of what was going on. They even were using the term hysterical blindness. I was this 12-year-old kid who was a great athlete, a good student, and there was no reason for me to fake it. So finally they got a hold of our father, who was 300 miles away in a military jeep on a field trip. And this is the art of medicine. You always start with history taking. He said, tell me everything that's happened to Sanjiv in the last 2 months. Oh, he's been fine, he's been perfectly healthy. No, tell me everything. Did he have any injuries, any new medicines? And sure enough, I'd had a laceration from a cricket wicket and a week earlier, and I'd received stitches. So he probed further. Any antibiotics? Did he get a tetanus shot? And they said, we looked, and the answer was, yes, he got antibiotics, and he got a tetanus shot. And he said, what kind of tetanus shot? So this is 1961. Anti-tetanus toxoid, ATT, or anti-tetanus serum. And the answer was anti-tetanus serum. And our father, who was a cardiologist, so a specialist in heart disease, but absolutely brilliant and knew everything in medicine, said to the doctors there, he's having a rare idiosyncratic reaction to the anti-tetanus serum. He has severe retrobulbar optic neuritis. Started intravenous and give him massive doses of prednisone, corticosteroids. So they did that, and after 4 or 6 hours, I could start saying gray, and then I could finally see Deepak. And it was an amazing experience, and that's when I decided to become a father, become a doctor like our father. And I've told this story to professors of ophthalmology at Harvard Medical School, at the world-famous Mass Eye and Ear Infirmary Institute, and they're absolutely bedazzled. They said, oh my God, unbelievable. 1961, such a rare reaction.
So here's another story, and this is when he was in England, my father, and so was my mother, and we were staying with our uncles. I was 6, and so Sanjiv was maybe close to 4, 3.5. And my father was in Edinburgh, and he passed his exams. He became a member of the Royal College of Physicians. And those days, no email, letters took 2 weeks, but we got a telegram from England that he had passed his exams. And so my grandfather, his father, took us both out that evening to see a movie. I still remember the movie, I don't know if you do.
Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
And then we went to a carnival, and he took us out for dinner. And then in the middle of the night, we were woken up to the wailing of women crying. My grandfather had died of a heart attack that evening. So the next day they took him to the cremation grounds, and he was cremated. We didn't go because we were very little. And the same uncle that he's talking about, Ratan Chacha, he used to always make interesting remarks. And he said, what is a man? What is a human being? One day he's taking the children out to see a movie and a carnival, and the next day he comes back as a bunch of ashes in a bowl of glass. I remember that comment. And for a 6-year-old to see someone and then they've disappeared completely. Sanjiv started losing his skin. His skin started peeling like a snake peels the skin. So he had sores everywhere. And they took him to see lots of doctors. And nobody could make a diagnosis. Till my father was informed in England, and remember it used to take a while to get the information out. And he made a diagnosis from England. He said he's feeling vulnerable, and so he's losing his skin because he's feeling insecure about what happened. And then he was going to stay there longer, but he didn't. He took a boat, and 2 weeks later, he arrived in Bombay, and Sanjiv's skin came back. Now, in hindsight, I'm thinking, I've wondered about this. Was that my first clue to the mind-body connection?
Yes.
Long time ago. And also my obsession with the meaning of death.